Marvel just released one movie in 2024, Deadpool and Wolverine, but that's not going to be the case next year, as they have quite a busy year, with films like Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four: First Steps. Now, a movie and its hero is only as good as its villain. Naturally, Marvel knows how to create a villain that leaves an impression on you. Some you love, some you hate, some you love to hate. And in this video, we're gonna explore the 10 major villains who will grace the big screen for Marvel in 2025. So without further ado, let's begin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Fire!
Victor Von Doom, aka Dr. Doom. The delightfully shocking announcement of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom in the MCU sparked widespread discussion. Both RDJ and Marvel fans rejoiced as if Christmas came early. Doom, or Victor Von Doom, is quite an iconic Marvel villain with a rich history as the arch-nemesis of the Fantastic Four and a complex villain in general, as far as the wider Marvel universe is concerned. Known for his genius intellect, mastery of both science and magic, and morally ambiguous motivations, Doom is one of the most layered and compelling characters in comic book lore. The choice of Downey Jr., previously the face of Iron Man, a role where he was amazingly charismatic, seems like something yummy will cook in Avengers Doomsday. Dr. Doom comes from Latveria, the fictional Eastern European nation he rules with an iron fist. Born into a Romani village and orphaned by his mother's death, Doom developed extraordinary talents in science and mysticism. After studying in the United States, he returned to Latveria to overthrow its ruling baron, transforming the nation into a technologically advanced state. Despite his authoritarian rule, Doom is portrayed as a benevolent dictator, prioritizing his people's prosperity. Latveria's subtle introduction in Moon Knight hints at Doom's impending arrival in the MCU. Doom's eternal rivalry is with Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. Their animosity began at Empire State University, where Doom's experiment to communicate with his deceased mother went awry due to a miscalculation Reed warned him about. The resulting explosion scarred Doom physically and cemented his hatred for Richards. This vendetta drives Doom's relentless pursuit of power and his obsession with proving his superiority. Doom's mastery of both science and magic makes him quite a formidable adversary. His technological brilliance is matched by his arcane knowledge, acquired through his Romani heritage and training with mystics. This dual expertise allows Doom to blend technology and sorcery seamlessly, creating powerful inventions and wielding abilities like dimensional travel and energy manipulation. He even has rivaled Doctor Strange for the title of Sorcerer Supreme, showcasing his unparalleled versatility. Doom's armor, built upon his return to Latveria, is pretty much a symbol of determination and resilience. Beyond its defensive capabilities, the armor enhances his strength and integrates advanced weaponry. The molten mask fused to his face serves as a constant reminder of his failures and fuels his unyielding quest for revenge. The parallels between Doom's armor and Tony Stark's Iron Man suit add intriguing layers to Downey Jr.'s casting. One of Doom's most notorious tools is his army of Doombots, robotic duplicates indistinguishable from their creator. These serve as decoys and allow him to execute complex schemes while maintaining an omnipresent image. Their inclusion in Avengers Doomsday would throw light on his strategic genius and add a dynamic element to the storyline. Doom's motivations often blur the lines between villainy and heroism. While he seeks global domination and vengeance against the Fantastic Four, his leadership of Latveria highlights his genuine care for his people. This duality defines him as a morally complex figure, making him a standout antagonist in the Marvel Universe. In the Marvel Secret Wars storylines, Doom ascends to godlike power. In the 1984 Secret Wars, he steals the Beyonder's abilities, while in the 2015 iteration, he creates and rules a patchwork reality of Battleworld. Speculation surrounds Doom's introduction in Fantastic Four: First Steps, though recent announcements suggest a different route. The multiverse framework provides an opportunity to connect Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Doom to Tony Stark's legacy. This could explore an alternate universe where Stark and Doom share a deeper link. In What If Secret Wars, Doom wields the Infinity Gauntlet, reshaping reality in pursuit of power. In fact, in infamous Iron Man, Doom briefly adopts the mantle of Iron Man and seeks redemption after Stark's disappearance. This storyline provides thematic resonance for Downey Jr.'s casting. While the MCU has confirmed that Downey Jr. will portray Doom and not an alternate Tony Stark, the multiverse opens the door to exploring how Doom's character could intertwine with Stark's legacy. President Ross, aka Red Hulk. Marvel Studios has unveiled Red Hulk, another super strong new villain, who hails from the early days of the MCU. This big guy will make his first appearance in the trailer for Captain America: Brave New World, confronting Sam Wilson's Captain America in a climactic final scene. Red Hulk, whose identity carries major implications, is expected to play quite a role in the film and potentially in future MCU storylines. The trailer introduces President Ross, played by Harrison Ford, who aims to institutionalize Captain America's position as a government-controlled role. This creates significant friction between Ross and Wilson. The stakes escalate when Ross's inner circle, including Isaiah Bradley, one of the original post-Steve Rogers super soldiers, becomes compromised. The trailer crescendos with a dramatic battle between Wilson and Ross, now transformed into the fearsome Red Hulk. This marks a major milestone for the character's introduction to the MCU. In Marvel Comics, Red Hulk first appears after the World War Hulk storyline. His creation isn't tied to Intelligentsia, a secretive think tank led by MODOK and the leader. Using gamma radiation extracted from Hulk during his battles, Intelligentsia transformed Ross, Banner's long-standing rival, into Red Hulk. Driven by his obsession with the Hulk, Ross willingly underwent the transformation, becoming the very monster he'd spent years trying to destroy. Over time, Red Hulk evolved from a villain into a more heroic figure in the comics, though his origins were steeped in vengeance and ambition. Unlike Bruce Banner's Green Hulk, Ross's Red Hulk features distinctive traits, including his crimson appearance. This is partly explained by the use of siphoned gamma radiation and cosmic rays in his transformation, as opposed to a direct gamma exposure. The red hue might also be linked to one of his unique abilities, raising his internal body temperature to extreme levels. This heat generation power, along with his ability to absorb various forms of energy, sets him apart from Banner's Hulk. While these abilities are iconic in the comics, it remains to be seen how they'll be adapted for the MCU. In the comics, Ross's Red Hulk retains his intelligence and military cunning, unlike Banner, who initially struggled with the Hulk's uncontrollable rage. This contrast could flip dynamics in the MCU, where Ross might be depicted as a destructive force, while Banner has evolved into the composed, smart Hulk. Regardless, the potential clash between the two Hulks promises to be a thrilling highlight of the MCU's upcoming phase. The cinematic iteration of Red Hulk comes with notable adjustments to Ross's character arc. Initially introduced as General in The Incredible Hulk, Ross later served as Secretary of State, in which capacity he was enforcing the Sokovia Accords in Captain America: Civil War and Avengers: Infinity War. Now elevated to President of the United States in Brave New World, Ross's transformation into Red Hulk adds complexity, especially as he struggles to control his powers while wielding immense political authority. The film's trailers tend to hint that Ross might be manipulated by the leader, played by Tim Blake Nelson. This setup not only connects Brave New World to earlier MCU chapters, but also teases Red Hulk's future, potentially as an anti-hero in the Thunderbolts. Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. Wilson Fisk, also known as Kingpin, has one of the richest and most detailed backstories in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. First introduced in Marvel Television's Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of Fisk brought him into the MCU proper during the Multiverse saga. After his role in Hawkeye, Fisk returned in the 2024 show Echo, before taking a central role in Daredevil Born Again, alongside Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock. Kingpin's complex history and brutal rise make him one of the MCU's most compelling villains. Fisk's early life was filled with violence and trauma. Born in the 1960s, he grew up in an abusive household. After his father, Bill Fisk, failed in his political ambitions, his abuse escalated, leading a young Wilson to kill him with a hammer. He and his mother hid the crime and moved away. Fisk spent years traveling before returning to New York to build a criminal empire. By 2007, he had recruited groups like the Tracksuit Mafia, becoming a powerful and dangerous figure. Fisk's empire expanded after the Battle of New York in 2012. He established Union Allied Construction, which disguised his criminal activities while exploiting government contracts for the city's reconstruction. This front unraveled when Karen Page exposed his corruption, forcing Fisk to eliminate the business and those who could incriminate him. Around this time, Fisk met Vanessa Mariana, an art dealer who became his confidant and later his wife. Her influence drove Fisk to embrace his public image, holding press conferences to position himself as a savior of Hell's Kitchen. Fisk's path crossed with Matt Murdock, both as himself and as Daredevil. Their initial confrontations in Daredevil Season 1 culminated in an intense battle, with Daredevil exposing Fisk's crimes and ensuring his imprisonment. Despite being incarcerated, Fisk maintained his influence, creating a power base in Rikers Island and manipulating figures like Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, to eliminate his rivals. Fisk's reach extended to the FBI in Daredevil Season 3, where he manipulated Agent Ray Nadeem and orchestrated his own release. Using Benjamin Poindexter, later Bullseye, Fisk attempted to discredit Daredevil by framing preparing him for public attacks. The season climaxed with Daredevil, Bullseye, and Fisk clashing, ending with Fisk's arrest after a deal spared Vanessa from incrimination. Fisk resurfaced in Hawkeye, rebuilding his criminal network post-snap. He manipulated Maya Lopez, taking control of the tracksuit mafia after her father's death. This led to a confrontation with Kate Bishop and Maya. Maya ultimately shot Fisk in the eye, though he survived. In Echo, Fisk tracked Maya to Oklahoma, where she rejected his offers and defeated him, forcing him to confront his own traumatic past. As Fisk prepared to return to New York, a broadcast hinted at his ambition to run for mayor, setting up a storyline akin to the comics' Devil's Reign. Fisk's influence is poised to grow, with major roles expected in Daredevil Born Again and other MCU street-level narratives. Seth Volker, aka Sidewinder. Captain America Brave New World will introduce Sidewinder, a villain adapted from Marvel Comics, and he would add another challenge for Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson as Captain America. The film pits Sam against formidable adversaries, including the returning leader from The Incredible Hulk and Red Hulk, both of whom represent significant threats. The stakes are further heightened with the addition of Giancarlo Esposito to the cast as Sidewinder, which was revealed during Marvel's Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2024. Esposito's casting had been subject to speculation, with fans theorizing he might play Professor X or Doctor Doom. However, Marvel confirmed at SDCC that Esposito will portray Sidewinder, a lesser-known but intriguing antagonist from the comics. This reveal also spotlighted the mysterious gunman shown in the Brave New World trailer, now confirmed to be Sidewinder. His inclusion also signals the MCU's introduction of the Serpent Society, a villainous organization long associated with Captain America in the comics. Originally teased during the Infinity Saga, the Serpent Society was never fully explored, making their upcoming presence in the MCU significant. In Marvel Comics, Sidewinder is Seth Volker, a former biochemist hired by Roxxon Oil Company to retrieve the Serpent Crown, an artifact granting immortality and mind control abilities. Volker gained a teleportation cloak during this mission, which became his signature tool. Breaking away from Roxxon, he formed the Serpent Society, recruiting snake-themed villains to create a powerful crime syndicate. While his powers are limited compared to other villains, Sidewinder's intelligence and leadership make him a formidable opponent. His teleportation abilities, combined with the offensive capabilities of his armor, allow him to outmaneuver enemies and gain tactical advantages. In Brave New World, the character is reimagined for a more grounded and realistic approach. Esposito's Sidewinder ditches the extravagant snake-themed costume of the comics for a sleek black leather duster and shades. This aligns with the film's tone, which draws inspiration from Captain America the Winter Soldier, emphasizing a gritty, espionage-driven narrative. The changes make Sidewinder a more believable threat in the MCU's evolving street-level stories. The movie is also expected to adjust Sidewinder's ties to the Serpent Society and Roxxon. While the Serpent Society may still appear, they will likely resemble a corrupt organization like Hydra, rather than a colorful group of snake-themed villains. Sidewinder's connection to Roxxon may also be replaced by a link to another group, potentially tied to the leader, the film's primary antagonist. This shift reflects the MCU's grounded approach to storytelling, while maintaining the essence of the character. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine has been a mysterious character in Marvel Comics since her debut in the Silver Age. Recently, her role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has grown, though her portrayal by Julia Louis-Dreyfus diverges significantly from her comic counterpart. Now, exploring her comic history provides insights into what may lie ahead for the MCU version of this morally ambiguous figure. Valentina was created by artist Jem Steranko, and first appeared in Strange Tales No. 159 in 1967, during S.H.I.E.L.'s early days. She emerged as a skilled super spy and became romantically involved with Nick Fury in a storyline reminiscent of James Bond films. Their relationship was famously censored by the Comics Code Authority, with edits unintentionally making the scene even more suggestive. This controversial moment cemented Valentina's reputation as a bold and complex character in comics history. Valentina's real identity adds layers to her backstory. Born into a Russian family tied to the clandestine Leviathan organization, her parents posed as anti-Soviet resistance fighters in Italy during the Cold War. After her parents were killed, Leviathan recruited her and provided her with the De Fontaine alias. S.H.I.E.L.'s Dum Dum Dugan later offered Valentina a position, unaware she was a Leviathan spy. Using her cover, Val quickly rose through S.H.I.E.L.'s ranks, impressing Nick Fury with her combat skills and earning a prominent position. Despite her loyalty to Leviathan, Val maintained her dual role as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and even joined its FemForce unit, often clashing with Sharon Carter. Valentina's allegiance grew even murkier when she began working with Hydra, at one point adopting the title of Madam Hydra. Acting as a triple agent, she fed information from S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra back to Leviathan. When Fury discovered her duplicity, he was devastated but never stopped loving her. Her tangled loyalties and ability to operate within competing organizations made her one of Marvel's most intriguing spies. She also played a pivotal role in the Secret Invasion comics event. A Skrull impersonating Val infiltrated Fury's circle to extract secrets, but Fury uncovered the ruse and eliminated the imposter. The real Valentina was later rescued, having been held captive during the Skrull infiltration. This storyline further emphasized her significance in Marvel's espionage narratives. In the MCU, Valentina's character has been reimagined. Her history with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick Fury remains unconfirmed, but she's introduced as the CIA director in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Her recruiting of John Walker in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and her manipulation of Yelena Belova in Black Widow highlight her shadowy and manipulative tendencies. Additionally, her past marriage to Everett Ross reveals personal connections that add to her complexity. Valentina is said to return in Thunderbolts, where her untrustworthy nature will likely take center stage. Muse. Marvel Studios has officially confirmed that Muse, a blatantly evil and R-rated villain from Marvel Comics, will make his MCU debut in Daredevil: Born Again. Charlie Cox returns as Matt Murdock, reprising his role as the blind vigilante, and faces a dark new challenge, alongside familiar enemies like Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. The series, set to premiere on Disney Plus in March 2025, continues the story from Netflix's Daredevil, expanding its scope with the introduction of Muse, a horrifying and enigmatic adversary. Muse's first appearance in Marvel Comics was in Daredevil Volume 5, number 11, in 2016. He remains one of Daredevil's most disturbing foes. His real name is unknown, adding to his mysterious nature. Muse is a deranged serial killer who uses his victims as mediums for his grotesque art. His creations range from blood-painted street graffiti to sculptures crafted from human bodies and organs. In the comics, his first known work, a mural painted in blood, involved over 100 victims. His subsequent piece used the corpses of 6 Inhumans, posed in everyday scenarios. When Daredevil and Blindspot attempted to capture him, Muse retaliated by gouging out Blindspot's eyes and injuring himself to deny Daredevil any sense of triumph. Muse resurfaced after Wilson Fisk became New York's mayor and implemented anti-vigilante laws. Escaping prison, Muse created large murals celebrating vigilantes such as Daredevil, Spider-Man, and She-Hulk. While these acts appeared to support heroes, they served Kingpin's propaganda against vigilantes. Blindspot eventually defeated Muse with the mystical power of the Hands Beast, and Muse chose to end his life in Daredevil number 600 by setting himself ablaze. Muse's abilities make him a formidable opponent. His body absorbs sensory information, rendering him nearly impossible to track. Even Daredevil, with his heightened senses, struggles against Muse's stealth. He possesses superhuman speed and strength, enabling him to lift bodies effortlessly and evade detection. His agility may even extend to wall climbing, as evidenced by his ability to paint massive murals across building facades. Muse's physical prowess, combined with the unsettling creativity, establishes him as one of Daredevil's most dangerous foes. The inclusion of Muse in Daredevil: Born Again signals Marvel's willingness to push boundaries. The series has not been confirmed for a TVMA rating, but Muse's violent nature makes it likely. Muse's introduction is bold, as his gruesome methods and chilling artistic vision could make him the MCU's most disturbing villain yet. While past antagonists like Red Skull and Gore the God Butcher brought intensity, Muse's penchant for turning murder into art sets him apart. His presence in the series could redefine the MCU's portrayal of villainy. Samuel Stearns, aka The Leader. Samuel Stearns, known as The Leader, is a villain whose history varies a lot between Marvel Comics and the MCU. Traditionally a nemesis of the Hulk, his involvement in Captain America: Brave New World makes sense with the absence of a solo Hulk film. His inclusion adds depth to the story, alongside the anticipated debut of Red Hulk. The Leader is portrayed by Tim Blake Nelson, who first appeared as Stearns in The Incredible Hulk from 2008. Nelson, a character actor with roles in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, introduced as Stearns, a well-meaning scientist aiding Bruce Banner in finding a cure for his condition. Stearns' curiosity with Hulk's blood led him to create a serum that transformed Emil Blonsky into Abomination. During the chaos, Stearns was infected by Banner's gamma-irradiated blood through a head wound, triggering a mutation that expanded his skull. Stearns was apprehended by S.H.I.E.L.D., but his knowing smile hinted at his evolution into the Leader. By the time Captain America: Brave New World unfolds, Stearns will be fully transformed and ready to deploy his intellect. In Marvel Comics, Stearns' origin is different. He was a laborer exposed to gamma radiation during a chemical plant accident, which drastically increased his intelligence while disfiguring him with green skin and an enlarged head. Stearns uses his newfound intellect to become the Hulk's opposite, favoring brains over brawn. He developed advanced technologies, including his synthetic servants called humanoids, mind control devices, and tools capable of reflecting the Hulk's power. His overconfidence and ego often led to his scheme's downfall. Despite setbacks, Stearns has repeatedly returned from death, thanks to the Hulk-related concepts of the Below Place and the Green Door, which allow gamma mutates to resurrect. Stern's MCU transformation deviates by tying his mutation directly to Hulk's blood rather than a chemical accident. This connection emphasizes his obsession with the Hulk's power and sets the stage for his plans in Captain America: Brave New World. Exclusive footage suggests the leader will attempt to achieve his goal through mind control, including manipulating a hypnotized super soldier to target the president. This aligns with his comic book methods and implies a faithful adaptation of his character. Nelson has also hinted at a reality-based approach, meaning the leader may rely on his technological inventions rather than overt superhuman abilities. The movie also marks the first on-screen appearance of Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk, suggesting Ross could serve as a physical foil to Stern's intellectual menace. While Stearns has historically faced the Hulk, his new role as a Captain America villain signals fresh narrative possibilities. Robert Reynolds, aka Sentry. Marvel's Thunderbolts will introduce the Sentry, one of the Marvel Universe's most powerful and dangerous heroes, marking his MCU debut. Played by Louis Pullman, the Sentry is set to appear in the 2025 team-up film alongside familiar MCU characters like Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes, Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova, and David Harbour's Red Guardian. While the exact role remains unclear, the Sentry's dual nature as a hero and a nightmare suggests he could be both a key ally and a catastrophic threat. The Sentry, whose real name is Bob Reynolds, gained his powers after consuming an experimental serum that granted him the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. This serum, created as a potential successor to the Super Soldier Serum, gave him superhuman strength, flight, invulnerability, and energy manipulation. However, the serum also awakened his darker alter ego, the Void, a malevolent entity capable of inflicting immense destruction. For every act of heroism Bob performs as the Sentry, the Void balances with terror and evil, making his internal battle as significant as any external conflict. First introduced in the Sentry No. 1, 2000, Bob Reynolds begins as an ordinary man with no memory of his past heroics. As his memories resurface, he realizes his existence brings both hope and despair. The Sentry's relationship with Marvel superheroes, including the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, is fraught with complexity. The world was made to forget him to protect it from the Void, and Bob eventually erases himself from memory again to keep his darker half at bay. In the comics, the Sentry plays pivotal roles in major events. He joins the Avengers in New Avengers 2004, helping to stop a massive breakout at the Raft, and reluctantly becoming a team member. He aligns with Iron Man during Civil War, understanding the dangers of unchecked power, and proves vital in countering Hulk's rage during World War Hulk from 2007. However, his instability worsens under Norman Osborn's manipulation in Dark Reign, leading to his transformation into the Void during Siege from 2010. The Avengers ultimately defeat him, but it costs the Sentry his life. He's later resurrected, with his powers and the burden of the Void explored further in subsequent stories. The Thunderbolts teaser and DC-23 footage confirm the Sentry's presence, but reveal little about his role. Given his story, he may begin as an ally before losing control, forcing the team to confront him. Julia Louis-Dreyfus' Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine could serve as a parallel to Osborn, attempting to manipulate Bob before his instability overwhelms her plans. The film may also explore whether the Sentry is a forgotten hero in the MCU, retroactively integrating him into its story. Parker Robbins, aka The Hood. The primary villain of Marvel's upcoming Ironheart series is The Hood, a dark villain from the comics. Played by Anthony Ramos, The Hood brings a mystical element to the story, pitting technology against magic. The series, slated for release on Disney Plus in 2025, continues Riri Williams' journey after her debut in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. As Riri balances life as an MIT student while perfecting her Iron Man-inspired armor, she will face off against Parker Robbins, aka The Hood, whose story promises to explore new facets of the MCU. In the comics, Parker Robbins was an ordinary man inspired by supervillains like Electro. After witnessing a clash with Daredevil, struggling to care for his ailing mother, Parker turned to crime. During one robbery, he encountered a demon in a red cloak and boots. After seemingly defeating the demon, he took its mystical outfit, discovering its connection to Dormammu and the Dark Dimension. The garments granted him powers such as invisibility, energy projection, and resurrection. Unaware of the origin of his abilities, Parker began his criminal career as the Hood, driven by Dormammu's influence. Over time, he became a formidable opponent to Marvel heroes. The Hood's magical abilities place him among Marvel's more unique villains. While not as powerful as Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch, his magic includes teleportation, demonic energy manipulation, and mastery of illusions. His connection to Dormammu amplifies his powers, making him a dangerous adversary. In later comic arcs, Parker's story takes a dramatic turn as he loses his magical abilities and becomes a Ghost Rider, further intertwining him with Marvel's supernatural characters. The MCU version of Parker Robbins will differ in key ways. In Ironheart, the Hood hails from Humboldt Park, Chicago, a neighborhood tied to Puerto Rican heritage, reflecting Anthony Ramos' own background. This change offers a fresh perspective, allowing Ironheart to explore underrepresented communities. The Hood is described as a misfit leading a gang of outcasts seeking to prove their worth. This portrayal deviates from his comic origin, centered around his mother, introducing a more communal motive. The Hood's introduction could have significant implications for the MCU's supernatural elements. If his connection to Dormammu remains, his story may tie into Doctor Strange's ongoing battles with the Dark Dimension. Additionally, if the series adapts the Hood's transformation into Ghost Rider, it could pave the way for the character's live-action debut and set the stage for the rumored Midnight Suns team-up. Other connections, such as to Blade or Black Knight from Eternals, could also emerge, revitalizing Marvel's darker narratives. Marvelous verdict. The MCU's Phase 5 and 6 will expand its roster of villains in 2005, while continuing to introduce new heroes. Following a quieter 2024 with Deadpool and Wolverine as the sole MCU movie and 4 successful Disney Plus shows, Marvel Studios will ramp up its release in 2025. Key projects include theatrical releases like Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts, The Fantastic Four: First Steps, alongside animated series Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Daredevil: Born Again, Ironheart, Eyes of Wakanda, and Marvel Zombies. The year will also feature the live-action show Wonder Man, new heroes such as Simon Williams in Wonder Man, Nico Minoru in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and the MCU's Fantastic Four will join the universe. However, the spotlight will be on the many villains making their debut or return. With its steady expansion, the MCU in 2025 promises a balance of compelling new narratives and the continuation of fan-favorite characters, ensuring its momentum across both theaters and streaming platforms. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.